Hi, Anti-Society! Welcome back to the Anti-Social Planet, and today we are getting into some more Spy Family. I am so happy when I get to sit down and watch these episodes because it just brings me so much warm and fuzzy feelings in my heart, and I love that so much. I love that this series has continued and people seem to love it, because I would be forlorn if we only got 12 episodes and that was it. But we started off this second season on a little bit more of a comedic note than I was expecting, because on the second part of season 1 it was like really action heavy and in the more spy thriller realm. Right at the gate we had like a multi-parter right at the beginning, whereas this one it seems like we're getting in a little bit more chill, which I feel like maybe we need, because I feel like we're getting into some more and more intense stuff. So I feel like having the beginning of the season gracefully, slowly, softly drop us back into the story is probably for the best. But we focused a lot on Yor in the last episode and some of the comedy of her going on this like date with Lloyd and like that, going through her own physical pain during that, but trying to remain a good wife for outer appearances and what have you, and to do that for Lloyd. So it was really funny, but also a little bit more ridiculous than I was expecting. But we're getting into this episode now. It looks like we're getting more into like Bond and his little story, at least for the first part. So let's get into the episode. In 3, 2, 1, go. Such a hard life. Oh, to be a dog, though. I love the music. Like that, like, really deep brass. Was it just the fuzziness? Like he couldn't actually see what's happening? And he's like, this is probably what happened? The power went out, and that's why we can't see anything? The worst case scenario, I suppose. I didn't need the trauma immediately at the beginning of this episode. It's a really dark backstory. Like, I feel like all of the characters have such a dark backstory in this series, and yet it is mostly like comedy, slice of life stuff. It's true. At least you'll have people who love and care about you, and they'll probably take vengeance. Oh no. He's trying to be a good boy. Uh-oh. I mean, she got a little bit better at her cooking. He can see that though. Oh no. She's trying though. That wouldn't happen. I get why possibly angering or insulting an assassin may be something you don't necessarily want to do. Oh, that's the solution? We just need to make Lloyd cook? Is that what Bond thinks Lloyd does all day? I mean, you may very well find yourself in a violent situation, but not because of spearing pigs. Careful. We're trying to avoid death. Oh. They're probably worried about you. You've been gone all day. Oh. This is very dramatic. The determination, though. Look at there's the bar over her eyes, like we don't know who she is. Oh, the life of being a dad. Sure. Like he's like, I can understand a noble mission. I hope that there's more missions with Bond. They better feed that boy. Working hard this episode. I mean, if Bond is useful on the missions, I feel like you should take him more often. Nothing suspicious there. That's one way to figure out where it is. To make them check it, right? Here's a little mask. That's so cute. Oh, he can see a brighter future. That's true. Yoda's probably like, if she's searching, she's like parkouring her way through the city looking for Bond. What a good boy. Looks a little worn out. I wonder why he's so worn out though. Is it partly because of family stuff, maybe? Studying. Steps under the sea. You need to let your brain rest though. It's the only way to really like retain all the information. Also, like, be a kid. Be a kid while you can. I say this as somebody who cannot go back and be a child anymore. Enjoy it while you have it. Oh. Loyal friends, though. You can say that for them. I like how he like knows. He knows that that's what they wanted, and he's like, fine. Go and be punished. Oh, I love how they all know. Also, who's the guy with the eye patch of the scars? Agreed. Their friendship is adorable. They should be nicer, but kids will be kids. I'm more forgiving. Kids doing things are like, other people aren't people like me. Who's this guy? This is like a teacher? 'Cause just like a teacher. 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 'Cause Ah. So the Navy is why the scars and the eye patch, I would assume. True. It seems a little more intense. Their heart was the right place, but like, can you stand up? Is it not that deep? Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say. But you know what? Their intentions were there, and it doesn't change the fact that like they were ready to jump in to like White Rapids to help their friend. I mean, it is good to kind of like get them out of their comfort zone, though, right? Like, they're all from like privileged families. They probably never had to do something like that. Whereas, like, I grew up in like the country and stuff, so like fishing and stuff was definitely something that I did. Digging for worms, camping, making fires. I know all that. But they probably don't. So it's probably great for them to just like go out and be kids and their family names don't matter. And that's not what they're working towards. It's just like understanding nature and their surroundings and having fun. And just like the three of them too, right? They don't have the influence of like other people affecting who they are and how they're acting. And like they're just kids here. They're not saying mean things, they're not bullying anyone, they're not being snobby and being like, "Do you know who I am?" They're just kids like all the other ones. It's nice what lasted anyway. It's not spacing out though, it's being aware of the here and now. It's true. You need to let go, not overthink. I think this is someone who chronically overthinks things and isn't good at being in the moment and all of that. But like you do, it is good for you. I like that this teacher, what Mr. Green, is like able to read him so well. I love stargazing too. But do you want to? That's the question. Are you doing it because your father would want that? But do you want it? Look at him being a little smiley and getting to be a kid. Are we finally spacing out, relaxing, enjoying the moment? Hmm, profound. Oh, I actually really loved that. I love that we got a Damien like focal episode because we haven't up to this point. But I also think it's super important to like paint him as just a kid. And I felt like that was happening a lot more in the last like half of season 1 is they were spending a bunch of time to really kind of flesh out who Damien was as a character and show that he really does just want to be a kid, but there's all of these external pressures on him and pressures that he feels like he needs to put on himself to like live up to it, right? So getting to a point where he gets to just be genuinely a child away from all of that and like doesn't need to wear the uniform of this prestigious school that he's trying to do super well at, doesn't have people who know him connected to his family name or his father or worried that something's going to get back to his parents, like learning about what he's doing at school, fully able to let it go and just be a kid in that moment in nature, having fun, zoning out, laughing with his friends, because he's completely separated from the environment where he can feel all that pressure. And you see him as just a kid. And that's like what he needs to lead more into, I think. Ooh, Yeti. Okay, looks like we're getting into maybe some spy stuff in the next episode. Those were both really fun stories and like really sweet, you know, like getting to see a little perspective from like Bond's point of view of like how Bond sees the world and the like logic there. Just like really funny and sweet to like have his little story, and then going into the Damien focal point, which I also think is important because one of the big things that I want to see is Damien becoming enough of a acquaintance of Anya that like he gets more integrated into like the Forger family, and he gets to see what it's like to be part of that family and be a kid in it, and like just get to experience what a normal life is. Because I feel like that's the big issue here for him, is like he wants to experience a normal life, but he also feels a lot of responsibility about like his family name and the expectations there. So he wants to like rise up to those expectations and do great things to prove himself, but he's also just a kid and he needs the space to be able to do that. And I really like that we got an episode where he got to be just a kid with his friends, and also seeing the teachers there at the school who understand that and are looking out for him. Like the way that they were able to read the situation and give him what he needed so that he could just be a kid, I think shows what good like teachers they are. And we haven't really seen that from the school. Like it seemed like this big intimidating place, because we see it a lot from like Anya's perspective, where it is just this intimidating place where she's a mission to fulfill, and that's why she's there. You know, she doesn't really need the same support from the adults there because she has the support from, you know, her parents that she has. So it's a little bit different seeing that from someone like Damien, who like doesn't have that external support system. He just has his friends, and the only adults that he has that can give him support and guidance are the teachers there that spend more time with him than his family does because he lives there on campus. So getting to see them just do a good job is really like satisfying, because I feel like it would be so easy to get a series like this where the teachers are like maybe a little bit snobbish or separated from the kids, or like have that same external pressure to like do super well at the school because it has this prestige to it. But in reality, they just want the kids to be happy and well taken care of and adjusted. And I think that that's so great. Like they actually have the kids' best interests in mind. It's just like a concept that usually doesn't happen in anime or like any kind of story where there's some kind of prestigious school involved. There's usually like maybe like a few teachers that are like that and they stand out, but there's usually not ones that are like actually looking out for the kids. Even in like real life though, like going to school in our reality, I don't know about your guys' experience at school, but mine is like there's usually like maybe one or two like teachers that like you actually connected with, and then the other teachers that are just kind of there for their job. And like that's okay. That can be like from student to student, that'll shift, right? You connect with people in different ways. But to see there be a group of teachers that are like really good at being teachers is great. And it's not just teaching in the classroom, it's also teaching them about life and adjusting and dealing with the things that are thrown at them. So just like a really sweet episode with setting up, I think, some important things around like Damien as a character, because I think he's going to become more and more important as like the conflict kind of looming over the whole series becomes more important because his family is wrapped up in it. So I think that adding this like foundation to him for the season is really good. So I hope you enjoyed watching that along with me. You can click this playlist to go and see my reaction to the first episode, or you can subscribe so you miss next time I post a Spy Family reaction, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.